I want to ask you about this very long list of topics to be tackled. China cybersecurity may feature on the list, European defence spending an ongoing issue, but perhaps it's Russia that carries the most significance for your country. And there was a report that crossed a few weeks back about the Americans seeking to bolster their presence in Greece to shore up that part of the Mediterranean, given Russia's influence in the Mediterranean. Would you welcome a greater US presence in your country?
Absolutely, but let's take one thing at a time. You talked about the challenges. One of them is Russia, of course. Secretary General before spoke about a series of challenges, but let's start with the objective challenges and our era. For instance, let's see what we're just about to come out from, this disaster of the COVID pandemic. Let's see the climate change that we're all living through. NATO, our alliance, which is the, let's say, defensive alliance of the free world, cannot be indifferent about all these challenges. These are things we have to tackle for our societies. Apart from that, it's an era where everything is changing so rapidly. And one of the things that are threatened, let's say, by autocratic leaders and revisionist states or even non-state actors is the rules-based international order. Unfortunately, one of those factors that challenge this internationally rules-based order is Russia. And of course, China is a challenge, but of a different nature for the time being. We're not having any kind of visible threat from China, but also failing states in the south, where Greece belongs, in the Eastern Mediterranean, in North Africa. So where, again, Russia is present, trying to take advantage of those failing states and of the extremism or the pervasive instability that causes with migrant flows, for instance, which indeed bother my country a lot. So the increased presence of American military installations or troops in Greece is, of course, welcome in this context. Americans have always been in my country since we joined 70 years ago NATO. Thus, our strategic relation seems to be better than ever before. And this contributes, together with our own national efforts, to the increasing of the stability in the overall East Mediterranean area.
Ambassador, the Italian government is reassessing its relationship with China in the context of Belt and Road. Greece, as we know, has tried to pitch itself very much as the gateway to Europe for China in this project. Is Greece about to do a handbrake turn and start to distance itself from Beijing?
Well, Chris, first of all, let's see how close we are with Beijing. We have nothing more with Beijing than a very healthy and open, within the framework of the EU regulations, commercial relationship. And if we're talking about investments, the main one is the port of Piraeus. When it came out for tender about a decade ago, Piraeus was a port that was decaying. It was in the middle of that horrible crisis of Greece, as you remember, the financial crisis. And there was no other offer. And according always with the regulations about competition of the European Union, the Chinese squarely and openly won the commercial part of the Piraeus port. That's not a strategic investment. Nothing of a military importance. It's purely containers, given the fact that Piraeus needed some kind of investment. Let's say serious investment at the time. Now that we speak, Piraeus has become again, due to that investment and due to the national efforts, of course, again, the biggest port of the Mediterranean. That's not necessarily a bad thing. A strategic, let's say, investment with China would be if had we adopted the 5G technology. Well, I can assure you that all the main networks in Greece and naturally the national networking system has already engaged itself in 5G technology with other companies, nothing Chinese. Mainly it's with Ericsson and others, but let's not do commercials here. Certainly not with the Chinese technology. So we're feeling pretty comfortable with our relation with China. It's well within the limits of the European regulations.